JFK International Airport glittered with endless lights, glass walls, and giant digital screens flashing departure times. People hurried past him with coffee cups, suitcases, laughter, and urgency. Children ran ahead of their parents. Couples argued softly. Businessmen shouted into phones. Everyone seemed to know where they were going. Except him. Ethan sat on a cold steel bench near gate 47, his shoulders slightly hunched, his expensive black suit looking strangely out of place. His Rolex watch reflected the harsh airport lights, but he didn't check the time. Time had ruled his life for decades, deadlines, meetings, deals, profits. Tonight, it meant nothing. His phone vibrated again. Agent, board needs your decision. Stock prices reacting to your resignation. Media requests interview. He turned the phone face down. Just 3 hours earlier, he had stood in a glass-walled boardroom overlooking Manhattan's skyline. His voice had been calm, but his words had stunned everyone. "I'm done," he had said. "I'm stepping down." The directors had stared at him as if he had lost his mind. But maybe he had finally found it. For 25 years, Ethan had lived by one habit: work harder than everyone else. Sleep less, feel less, care less, win more. That habit had turned a poor college student into a billionaire CEO. But it had also turned a husband into a stranger, a father into a ghost, and a son into a memory. He remembered his mother's voice from years ago. "Ethan, success is useless if you're done, you have time for people." He had laughed back then. Now, sitting alone in the world's busiest airport, he understood what she meant. He looked around. People sat in groups, talking, laughing, hugging goodbye. No one sat beside him. The silence around him felt heavier than the noise. Suddenly, a shadow appeared in front of him. "Are you lost too, mister?" The voice was small, soft, and fearless. Ethan looked up. A little girl stood there, holding a pink backpack with cartoon stars. Her shoes were slightly worn, and her braids were uneven, as if someone had tied them in a hurry. Her eyes were bright, but not childish, they carried a strange seriousness. For a moment, Ethan didn't answer. He had been asked thousands of questions in his life, by journalists, investors, employees. But never like this. Lost. He almost smiled at the irony. He, who had built empire, controlled markets, and predicted global trends, didn't even know where his own life was going. His lips parted, and instead of a polite reply, the truth escaped. "I think," he said slowly, his voice unexpectedly shaky. "We've been lost for a very long time." The girl tilted her head. Around them, the airport continued rushing forward. But for Ethan, the world had suddenly stopped. And for the first time in his life, he didn't want to run anymore. The little girl didn't laugh at Ethan's answer. She didn't look confused either. Instead, she sat beside him as if it was the most natural thing in the world. The cold metal bench felt warmer now. "My name is Lily," she said softly, swinging her legs that didn't reach the floor. "Ethan," he replied. For a moment, they just sat there, watching people rush past. A man argued with an airline staff member. A tired woman hugged her sleeping baby. A group of teenagers took selfies, laughing loudly. Life was moving fast, but Ethan felt like he had been standing still for years. "Why do grown-ups always look so tired?" Lily suddenly asked. Ethan blinked. No one had ever asked him that before. "Because," he said slowly, "they think being busy is the same as being happy." Lily frowned slightly, as if thinking deeply. "My dad used to be busy too," she said. Ethan turned toward her. "Used to be?" he asked gently. Lily nodded. "He worked all the time. He said he was doing it for us. But one day, he didn't come home anymore." Ethan felt a sharp pain in his chest. "What happened?" he asked quietly. Lily looked down at her shoes. "He left." The word hit Ethan like a punch. He saw himself in Lily's story. He remembered his son waiting at the window when he was a child, hoping his father would come home early. He remembered promises he never kept. Lily suddenly looked up at him. "Are you going to leave too?" she asked. Ethan froze. The question was simple, but it felt heavier than any business deal he had ever made. "I don't know," he whispered honestly. Lily didn't judge him. Instead, she smiled gently. "My mom says habits are like invisible ropes," she said. "They pull us in the same direction every day, even if we don't want to go there." Ethan swallowed hard. For the first time, he understood something terrifying. He wasn't cruel. He wasn't heartless. He was just trapped in a habit he never questioned. Suddenly, a woman's voice called out urgently. "Lily." A tired-looking woman rushed toward them, her face pale with worry. When she saw Lily sitting beside Ethan, she stopped. "I'm sorry," Lily said cheerfully. I was talking to him. He looked lonely. The woman looked at Ethan with surprise, then softened. Thank you for staying with her, she said quietly. Ethan nodded, unable to speak. Lily stood up and adjusted her backpack. Before leaving, she turned back to him. Mr. Ethan, she said. Yes, being lost isn't scary, she said seriously. It just means you're ready to find a new way. Then she walked away holding her mother's hand. Ethan watched them disappear into the crowd. His flight announcement echoed through the hall. But he didn't move. For the first time in his life, he didn't follow his old habit. Instead, he took out his phone. He searched for a name he hadn't called in years. His son. His finger trembled as he pressed the call button. The line rang. Once. Twice. Then a voice answered. Hello. Ethan's voice broke. Son, it's me. There was silence. Then, slowly, the voice replied. Dad. At that moment, the billionaire CEO realized something shocking. He had conquered the world. But tonight, because of a little girl, he was finally learning how to conquer himself.